Hi. Thank you so much for joining me. Today's video is another installment of Tingles in 10, a short and sweet video series that focuses on simple tutorials and recipes with the aim of calming and relaxing you in more or less 10 minutes. It's currently sweater weather where I live. And if you are in the northern hemisphere as I am, you may be chilled to the bone, looking to spend your nights by the fire and looking for a hot beverage to cuddle in the palms of your hands for warmth. One of the winter drinks I consider to be the most appealing is the Peppermint Mocha. It is a really refreshing drink. It's the perfect combination of chocolatey, minty sweetness, and it's great to have any time of day, especially if you need an energy booster, as the peppermint is very refreshing and uplifting. This was my first time trying this recipe, so things got a little bit messy, and I hope that it's not too distracting for you. I did clean it up as best I could. I also don't have the peppermint mocha in front of me because it was so good that I consumed it already. I'm ashamed. So, without further ado, I present to you the tutorial on how to make your very own peppermint mocha. I hope you enjoy. This recipe was inspired by a do-it-yourself version of the Peppermint Mocha by TheKitchn, and I have made just a few modifications. It makes 2 servings, and the ingredients you will need are a 1/4 cup of sugar, a 1/4 cup of water, plus 3 tablespoons of warm water later on, a 1/4 or 1/2 teaspoon of peppermint extract depending on your preferences, 3 tablespoons of powdered cocoa, 1/2 cup of hot espresso or strongly brewed coffee, 1½ cups of almond milk, but of course you can use dairy milk for a richer, creamier result, whipped cream, and if you have any spare candy canes lying around, you can throw one in as a garnish. The equipment you'll need is as follows: a flour sifter, a French press, espresso maker, or any other coffee maker will do, a small saucepan, a whisk, measuring spoons, and a measuring cup, a wooden spoon for stirring, something out of which to drink your glorious concoction. A mug usually works for me. You may also want an additional spoon for mixing and a mixing bowl. And lastly, a working stove and a kettle. Got all that? Okay, let's get going. The first thing I'm going to do is create my own peppermint simple syrup. So in a small saucepan on medium heat, I'm going to stir together the water and sugar, making sure to stir frequently until the sugar dissolves. This may take a few minutes. After a couple of minutes have passed, I'm reducing the heat to a low simmer and adding the peppermint extract. And continuing to simmer the mixture for approximately 20 minutes until it thickens. Next, I'm going to prepare the coffee. I'm pouring 2 more tablespoons of coffee grounds than I normally would for a stronger brew. And then pouring hot water into the French press to begin the brewing process. While the peppermint syrup is simmering and the coffee is brewing, I'm taking the powdered cocoa and running it through a sifter to remove any unnecessary lumps. After the cocoa has been delumped, I'm adding the cocoa and 3 tablespoons of leftover warm water from the kettle into a small mixing bowl. And mixing together until the ingredients form a creamy paste. This is where things got a little bit messy for me, as I made the mistake of adding these ingredients first to my mug, forgetting that this recipe makes 2 mugs worth, and therefore not all of the ingredients fit into the 1 mug. I didn't realize this, however, until after I poured the coffee and the heated almond milk. After transferring it over to a mixing bowl, adding in the remainder of the milk, and stirring thoroughly, I'm taking the peppermint simple syrup off the stove and adding it, stirring everything once again. Now I am transferring the mix back into my mug. And finishing off with whipped cream on top. To swankify your homemade peppermint mocha, if you are making it for a loved one and want to impress them, or if you just want to make it swanky for yourself, you can add a candy cane as garnish. Voila! A homemade peppermint mocha. I hope that you enjoyed this Tingles in 10. And if you decide to make your very own peppermint mocha, I would love to see your result. Feel free to share photos of your version with me on one of my social media pages noted in the description box below. Have a wonderful, restful, peaceful day or night.